IBM is a tech company, and you don't buy tech companies. Why have you been buying IBM?
Yeah, well, I didn't buy railroad companies for a long time either. It's interesting. I've had two interesting incidents in my life connected with IBM, but I probably read the annual report of IBM every year for 50 years. And this year it came in on a Saturday, and I read it, and I got a different slant on it, which I then proceeded to do some checking out of. But I read it through a different lens.
What's the different lens?
Well,
what's the different slant?
Just like I did with the railroads. And incidentally, the company laid it out extremely well. I don't think there's any company that I can think of, big company, that's done a better job of laying out where they're going to go and then having gone there. They have laid out a roadmap, and I should have paid more attention to it 5 years ago, where they were going to go in the 5 years ending in 2010. Now they've laid out another roadmap for 2015. They've done an incredible job. First, Lou Gerstner, when he came in, he saved the company from bankruptcy. I read his book a second time, actually, after I read the annual report then. Who Said Elephants Can't Dance? I read it when it first came out, and then I went back and reread it. And then we went around all of our companies to see how their IT departments functioned and why they made the decisions they made. And I just came away with a different view of the position that IBM holds within IT departments and why they hold it, and the stickiness and a whole bunch of things. And also I read very carefully what Sam Palmisano yes, has said about where they're going to be, and he's delivered big time. Another thing I would say about IBM too is that a few years back they had 240 million options outstanding. Now they probably are down to about 30 million. They treat their stock with reverence, which I find is unusual among big companies. They are thinking about the shareholder.
Does this mean that this is a new era and you're going to be looking at a lot of tech stocks? And I guess chief among them, would you consider Microsoft?
Well, Microsoft is a special case because Microsoft is off bounds to us because of my friendship with Bill. And if we spent 7 months buying Microsoft stock, and during that period they announced a repurchase or increase of the dividend or an acquisition, people would say, you've been getting inside information from Bill. So I have told Todd and Ted, and I apply it myself, that we do not ever buy a share of Microsoft. I think Microsoft is attractive, but we will never buy Microsoft. People would just assume I knew something, and I don't. But they would assume it, and they would assume Bill talked to me, and he wouldn't have. But there's no sense putting yourself in that position.
But
I can say I've never met Sam, but I can't say I've never met Bill.
But does this change the rules of the game that you would actually look at technology stocks?
I look at everything, but most things I decide I can't figure out their future.
Warren,
their economic future.
This is more of a. Do you look at this more as almost a service company now, rather than a hardware software company? Though it's almost not. It's not high tech anymore. Almost.
It's a company that helps IT departments do their job better. And if you think about it, I don't want to push the analogy too far because it could be pushed too far. But we work with a given auditor, we work with a given law firm. That doesn't mean we're happy every minute of every day about everything they do, but it is a big deal for a big company to change auditors, change law firms. The IT departments, we've got dozens and dozens of IT departments at Berkshire. I don't know how they run. I mean, but we went around and asked them, and you find out that they very much get working hand in glove with suppliers, and that doesn't mean things won't change, but it does mean that there's a lot of continuity to it. And then I think as you go around the world, IBM in the most recent quarter reported double-digit gains in 40 countries. Now, I would imagine if you're in some country around the world and you're developing your IT department, you're probably going to feel more comfortable with IBM than with many companies.